Hi, Jess Tinkler here. Today's video will be how to obtain your first rent-to-rent property and all the key steps. Step number 1, simply go on to Rent2Rent and access all the rental properties. So say for example, you want the property you're looking for in Manchester and you want it in the city centre. You would simply go on the filter option and you'd click a 1 mile radius of the properties in Manchester, which gives you all the ones closer to Manchester. If there's not enough properties that come up, you would then go a 2 mile radius. So you found your sweet spot. Then you would simply check how long it's been on the market for. The longer that property has been on the market for, the more chance there is of the property owner doing a deal with you. Because the bottom line, they have that property, they want to make money from it. If there's no one in that property, they've got a void period. They're going to make no money essentially from it. And then you look at the cost of the property. So the cost, you don't want a property that's going to cost you thousands of pounds. You need to look at the figures work for you. So you select that in price and do it from the lowest to the highest, and then you push that radius down. Step 2 is all about booking the viewing. So if you've been on Rent2Rent and you've done all the filters and you've got the properties that you found, and you found like 5 properties for example, and you go on there, it's got the estate agent, you then bring the estate agent up and you book a viewing. But at this stage it is crucial that you make out that that property is for you. You're going to be moving in there. It's not about being dishonest, but bear with me on this front because there is a process. If you go in and say, I'm looking for it to do as a rent-to-rent property, as service accommodation, that will ruin the relationship. They will put the phone down. So it's about going to see, get the viewing to see that property. Also, go into all your estate agents. So once again, if you're looking at Manchester City Centre, go and build a relationship with every estate agent. Tell them what you're trying to achieve. Give them a bit of background about you. Build that relationship. Don't just go in there once every 3 months. Go in there once a week. Take a bag of donuts in there, and build that relationship and find out their pain points, what their issues are, what their stresses are, because you could save the day and create them less of a headache. And it's also really, really important to have your social media channels and your website set up. If you're dealing with an estate agent and they ask for a card or they ask for your website and you haven't got these, you're just gonna look really unprofessional and it will terminate any deal. Step number 3 is AirDNA. Now AirDNA is like your research hub, your IT department. This gives you everything you need to know and gives you all the data to ensure you've got the right property and the right area and you're going to get the bookings. It will tell you what your competition is. It will tell you what you should be charging for that property. It will tell you what type of customers are going to be looking to come into your property. It could be couples, it could be families, it could be a group of people. It has everything, and that is so crucial. Step number 4 is, we touched base briefly before, but it's about credibility. Now, when you're building relationships up, it's important that you have things to back you up. You want to look as professional as possible. So it's important to have a website. It's important to have your social media channels. It's just so important. If you go in there and you don't have a website or you don't have social media channels and they ask for a business card and you haven't got them, that's deal done. You just look like an amateur. Now, there's so many options to go down. You can get a WordPress website, which is Lego, and the bigger you grow, the more you can bolt onto it. The social media is about you being consistent. It's really important when you put that social media, start your journey, start doing videos, start putting content on there. If you have a social media page and you've not posted anything for 3 weeks, it has a knock-on effect. They're going to think, well, what sort of service? If they can't even be consistent with their social media channels, what sort of service am I going to get? Whereas if you're being consistent, putting regular material out, that's going to fill them with confidence. Now this is one that's a bit like Marmite, essentially. It's networking. Now I get some people with networking, it can make you anxious, you feel uncomfortable, but practice makes perfect. You want to let as many people know about your business and what you're doing is possible. Now imagine if you had the most beautiful house in the world on this island, but you had no bridge to get to that island, to see that property. So you essentially need to build the bridge so people can walk across to see the house. So with networking, you go into property networking events, you go into standard networking events, because it's not just the people at the events, it's the people that they know, and it is gold dust. This is an old school method. People like buying off the people they like. Now, it's important to evolve with new technology, but you cannot be face-to-face contact. You cannot be phone calls. And you can have someone that has a load of money they're willing to invest because you're going to potentially give them a better return than the bank. And they take a liking to you, but they don't have the time. So networking is crucial. Have a wonderful day.